Hi, good morning everybody. I'd just like to call into session the missions and values review for the ethical trading group. So my name's Tamara Jackson and I'm the financial analyst that we've been called in for the ethical trading group to review all the finances and historical data, to review the way of the future and our current expansion on all projects. So any questions, please save for the end and I'll get underway. So behind me I have our PowerPoint, which will detail our ratios, and I'll go into detail about how we're progressing with them. So breakdown here first is all the statistics from 2013, 2014 and what we're hoping for 2015. So our current ratio for 2013 to 2014, we've done really well, guys. We've had our short-term resources have increased, however only to meet our short-term commitments. I'm happy because we've still had a growth. We haven't stepped back, we haven't remained the same. We've had growth in this area, which is really good. Our liquid ratio, again, great guys, keep up good work. We've had growth of our quick source of funds compared to our quick influx of liabilities, however. So this is something we do need to monitor, but however, I'm confident that we are moving forward because we have increased. Our next is our inventory turnover, so how long it takes us to sell stock or kind of get it from in our workshop out, so it's not just sitting there gathering dust and wasting our money at the end of the day. So as you can see, we've had growth, which again, great, good job. I'm just here congratulating you guys all day. We've increased it. We've roughly taken 20 days off our inventory turnover, which is exceptionally well. Again, we can improve. We always want to improve. Bigger and better things coming in 2015, but the main thing is we have improved, and 20 days is a very large, significant time for our current procedures and our current workload. Profitability. So again, we have increased. It's good, not great, so not much of a round of applause, but we have had an increase by 0.07%, which is great. So it's definitely something that we should be trying to target in 2015 to increase our profitability. Our leverage, again, good. Definitely something that we could have worked on, and definitely something we will be working on in 2015. So we've reduced our leverage from 40% through to 36%, which is good. But either A, we need to increase our sales by a significant amount or reduce our liabilities, which I think if we compare both and increase our sales but reduce our liability, it will definitely help get us to that percentage that we're after. Okay, so as I mentioned, our goals, we want to reduce the debt. We want to focus on one new aspect of the business in 2015. So I was reviewing our policies and procedures and our missions and values, and I just feel like we're taking on too much of the pie for next year, that we should really be focusing on one aspect plus growing the business, not two new aspects and growing the business. I feel like it's just too much that could go wrong and ultimately could sacrifice the business as a whole. We need to review the budget procedures. I would highly recommend placing somebody in charge of the budgets and forecasting on a permanent basis, or delegating it to them and getting in an external source. So in conclusion, I can see that you guys have been doing incredibly well and that you've increased in your profitability and growth. My recommendations, as mentioned, is to review procedures and concentrate on the steady growth. So try and focus on which avenue you want to go down, whether it's sourcing traditional indigenous food or whether it's going through another method for short-term microloans. So any questions, guys? Oh yeah, Sarah, what would you like to ask? What are the risks when the company takes on more debt funds? Oh, sorry, I think there was a bit of a microphone issue there. Oh, Sarah, do you want to re-ask the question? Alright, so the risk that they may require future funds and run the risk of being denied future credit or potential higher interest rates, which can result in a loss to the company.
What are the consequences if the company sells off some of the non-current assets? Could we perhaps do that?
So Sarah, good question again. But however, if the company sells off some of the non-current assets, they run the risk of selling machinery and vehicles that will more than likely be needed in order to produce goods for resale, which again will in turn hurt our income and our cost of sales. I would not advise this course of action and to be taken unless the appropriate audits and reviews have been completed and that machinery or vehicles or whatever non-current assets are definitely not needed. Regan, do you have any questions? How can the company improve its gross profit margin? Okay. A good way to do this is to reduce the debt that the company is already in. That way it does not put as much pressure on the company to perform as the company has growth on its own. I feel it sorry guys, a bit tongue-tied. I feel if catapulting the growth of the company could have major repercussions, causing significant loss to the company. Well, what are some of the limitations of ratio analysis used? Well, the ratios that I have used here today will only factor in data that we know. So unfortunately, due to the nature of the company and the slight change of direction that you guys are wishing to take it, it cannot predict the factors I've mentioned of Mother Nature, faults of their partners, or major unrepaid debts. Well, how will the review progress of plans against the agreed criteria, and how will you communicate this to the senior management team? I feel that breaking down KPIs to each department is the best course of action. I feel that if each area of the company can solely be responsible for the growth and the success of that area, the company as a whole will prevail. I recommend conducting regular analysis of the financial reports and more frequently, than annually, along with employing or delegating the role as budget holder within the company is the most efficient method. Alright, well, how will you incorporate the feedback with the senior management team will give you? Like, what if it's, you don't agree with it? Any feedback that senior management would like to offer will be taken on board and will be reviewed accordingly. Senior management have allowed the group to reach this level of success, and all feedback will be taken on board positively and with enthusiasm. Any review that they have to offer, I will place into a budget and work out the best course of action, whether that is to focus on increasing production, reducing liabilities, or reduce the side projects. Alright, so I think that wraps up our time for today. But if you have any questions, email me. I'm happy to help you out. But thank you guys so much, and here's to 2015, bigger and better things.